we need to have a lot of activism and this type of energy to deal with this tax bill, to be totally honest with you. And we are about probably 3/4 of the way to where it needs to be to pass. It's a disaster in a myriad of ways. And it's just really bad. And I don't even think there's a full sense of just how bad this is. But here is Bernie Sanders talking about, understand that something like 65% of the benefits here of these tax cuts go to the top 1% in this country. And remember all the things, you're not hearing the postcard thing so much anymore. Remember how it was all our taxes were going to be on a postcard? What happened to that? That went away. But here is Bernie Sanders articulating just how bad this bill is.
Think about what's going on here today. I think this is in many ways an historic day, a day that historians will look back on December 1st, 2007. And they will conclude that today is a day of one of the great robberies, act of criminal activities, if you like, in the modern history of this country, because the federal treasury is being looted tonight. As we speak, there are lobbyists all over Capitol Hill writing down in handwriting amendments to this bill to give hundreds of millions, if not billions, of tax breaks, billions of dollars in tax breaks to large corporations. As we speak, they're probably still writing those amendments. Meanwhile, this Republican-led Senate has been unable to reauthorize the CHIP program, the health insurance program for low-income children.
All right, so here you have Bernie Sanders fully characterizing what's going on. It's just another example. You know, we've had libertarians who call into this program, like, you know, you don't want government picking winners and losers. Government, by the fact of its very existence, picks winners and losers. There is no organizing of people, really, in any fashion whatsoever, that doesn't end up picking winners and losers. The issue is how many losers should there be? How many winners? What is the disparity? Does it have to be winner take all? There's a whole lot of subset of other questions that are being answered every time the government passes a piece of legislation, every time a regulation is drawn up. You know, here's a good example. We're not going to allow lead in our candy from China. Loser, Chinese candy manufacturers. Winner, kids who don't want to have neurological problems. I mean, that's just an example, right? But it goes with every decision that's being made. And in this instance, understand what's happening. There's nothing fundamentally problematic with tax reform. But the number of people who are winning, which I would say are probably like, you know, maybe certainly 1,800 families with the estate tax. And then maybe you could expand it out to like couple of maybe a dozen, 10,000, you know, several hundred thousand people at the expense of the rest of the country is stunning. In that clip that we just heard from Bernie Sanders did the old, like, oh, there are lobbyists running around scribbling in the margins of the thing, which is sort of like a rhetorical flourish, right? It's a metaphor. They're out there, they're scribbling things in the margins as they do this. That's how poorly planned this bill, and that's how much lobbyists are actually controlling this process. And it's a funny metaphor, except for in this situation, it's not a metaphor. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos